First of all, give credit to Arkansas. I got a heck of a football team. Showed that today. Proud of our football team, the way that we fought and battled throughout the game. Obviously, we can't turn the ball over, especially in the fourth quarter. So whatever it was, I know we had the interception, the fumble, I guess the safety, whatever. So at least two, turnovers in the fourth quarter, and you can't win football games on the road in the SEC, that's for sure. But I just told the team in there, I think we've got a chance to be a really, really good football team if we can continue to get better. Today wasn't good enough on the road. But proud of the way that our guys fought. I mean, we talked all week that we're going to face adversity here at some point, and that's when we get stronger as a football team. And I thought we showed that in a lot of ways today, because we certainly faced a ton of adversity out there with, just things that happened throughout the game, injuries, particularly defensively. But we had a lot of guys that had to play a lot of plays. But, overall, not good enough today, but excited as we continue to go through this season. And again, proud of the group of men we have in that locker room right now. Questions?
Shayna, do you have an update on Cam, Jordan, and Mo Cabo?
Jordan and Mo, we'll see when we get back to Columbia, but it doesn't look good going forward. Hopefully we'll say our prayers tonight, and hopefully we get some good news. But right now it doesn't look good. Cam should be fine. Had an upper body injury that I would hope he would not be long term at all.
It seemed like they had missed opportunities for both offensively and defensively. Just how frustrating is that to feel like you're right there but just can't do it?
Yeah, no, very. I mean, we felt like we had a great advantage with our receivers and tight ends versus their defensive backs today. That's why we threw it like we did. We certainly had some guys running open in the secondary, had the ball to AB early in the first, I think that was the first quarter, on a post route that, we weren't able to come down with it. And then there were other opportunities as well. But, that's part of it, defensively as well. They're a load, obviously that quarterback is, and we got to stop the run and get ourselves off the field as well. But certainly we had a lot of opportunities out there in all three phases. But again, proud of the way that our guys continued to fight and battle, and I felt like we were going to win the game up until that last drive right there when we got the safety or whatever they called back there.
That's right. Shane, it looked like you guys were really wanting to concentrate on the pass and maybe not so much ignore the run, but say we got to win with the pass. Was that the game?
Yeah, we felt really good, David, about our ability to throw the football. There's no question about it. Not that we didn't with the run game, but they had two starters out in the secondary with Catalan and Slusher today. That was big losses for them. And watching Cincinnati last week, Cincinnati had some opportunities in the passing game that they weren't able to capitalize on as well. So we felt like we could certainly take our shots downfield, which is what we did. We've got to be able to run the football. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But each week is different with how we're going to try and win football games. And today was, we liked our matchups in the passing game for sure. I mean, Juice Wells, Jalen Brooks, Stogg. I mean, there's AB. There's a lot of guys that Juju that showed what they can do when the ball's in their hands, Jaheim. But there's no question. I mean, we've got to be able to run the ball and stop the run to win football games, especially against a team like Arkansas that, they just line up offensively and just try and bludgeon you to death with the tackling their guys as well. We got to be able to help our defense also and stay on the field.
You mentioned Juju McDowell there. He got some carries this week where he didn't last week. How do you kind of evaluate his performance in the running game as a whole?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I love Juju. Juju competes his butt off. So whenever Juju's in the game, that's a good thing for us. He's love his heart, love his soul, the way he competes and the way that he works. And thought he did a nice job. All those guys did.
Looking back,
it seemed like they had you'll have several deep ball opportunities early that just missed. Just him a little bit off, or what needs to happen there to get some of those?
Yeah, no, your question. I wrote it down right here. During the game, we got to get more deep ball work. Just in practice. Not that we don't. I mean, we throw deep balls all the time, but we've got to be better at that as well. I don't want to speak for AB. I think a couple of those on the deep balls. You see, I don't know if he lost it in the sun or whatever at the last second, but that first ball, I mean, we've got to be able to go up and attack that ball in the air. And if they break it up, they break it up, but at least we hopefully draw a pass interference penalty. So we've got to continue to work on it and be better there for sure, because we've got, y'all saw it, I mean, we've got some receivers and we got some tight ends that can make plays, and we've got to continue to find ways to get them the ball and capitalize on those.
Can you talk about Arkansas's two Sanders, Rocket Sanders in the backfield, and Andrew Sanders on defense, and how they play?
I think good. I mean, I mean, I think they all played well. So running back looked like he ran the ball well, and I don't know. I didn't evaluate their linebacker play during the game, but I guess they did okay.
What did you see, Shane, that you liked about the offensive line today? And, you talk about the running game has to get better. How can you make that get better?
I thought the offensive line did a nice job. I thought we protected well, for the most part. You're going to get beat at times, but we threw it a bunch, and thought overall we protected well. I know one time they brought 7 off the edge, and Juju picked him up, and I think Spencer got flushed out. So it's all of us involved in the passing game, but they overall they did a good job. And then run game wise, just continuing to call it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Gene, we didn't have many called runs today. It was passed, but there's no question. I mean, our offensive line wants to run the ball. Our offensive line, we can run the ball. We got good backs as well, and just felt like that was the way we needed to attack things today.
Shane, David Spalding, is he hurt?
He is hurt. He's another one, a little bit of a bruise on his ankle, shin. He'll be fine. Thought there was a chance that he may be able to go, but just he didn't. When he got hurt, he kind of got hurt late in the game last week, and really felt like he'd be able to go by Saturday, but just didn't make the progress that we hoped to see on Thursday and Friday.
I think the first carry to a true running back came with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Looking back, would you like to run the ball earlier more, or was that just kind of sticking with the game plan?
I think it was sticking with the game plan, Colin. I don't know how many plays we had to that point, but I don't think we had made them punt yet at that point either. So, I mean, they had some drives. It took some time off the clock, and I don't think we had played a ton of plays. I don't know. You may know better. But, no, I mean, certainly we want to pop runs in there. There's no question about it. And our offensive line wants to run the ball, and we need to run the ball. I mean, we're not going to win football games consistently dropping back and throwing it. But, again, it's kind of – we were doing a lot today of seeing what they were in defensively and then calling plays off of that. And those were running plays and pass plays. I mean, a lot of the formations we were in, based on the way they lined up, it could have been a run or it could have been a pass, what we called. And just the looks they were giving us were looks that we felt better about calling passes to.
Was that an adjustment coming in?
An adjustment?
An adjustment you made from week 1 to week 2, calling plays?
A little bit more. I think if anything, we had a little bit less in the game plan this week offensively. A little bit less for Spencer to have to think about, all of our guys to think about, where we could just kind of line up, play fast, and not have to think so much.
Yeah, obviously just the second week, but with a new quarterback, new pieces, what's the process like of sort of finding an identity on offense and sort of finding that rhythm, and where do you think you guys are?
Yeah, I think we made progress this week. I mean, I know the rushing yardage wasn't what it was, and I'm sure some people will say, well, a lot of those passing yards were in garbage time. I disagree. I mean, that was a ball game, and we got the onside kick and felt like we had a chance to go down there and score and get another onside kick and go try and win this thing. So, they were heating us up and bringing pressure at the end of the game, and we were making plays. So it wasn't like we were getting beat by 4 touchdowns and they're just letting us complete passes. I mean, we made some plays in the passing game throughout. We showed that we can do that, but now we've also got to be able to run the football as well. So, we told our team after the game last week, we're better than we were, but we're not as good as we're going to be, and I feel that way right now as well. We lost today, but I do feel like we're farther along offensively than we were, but we're still not as good as we're going to be.
You knew coming into the game that they were going to be hard to get on the ground with quarterback and running backs. And seeing them up close and in person, are you more impressed with their physicality, or maybe disappointed in y'all's tackling and ability to get them on the ground?
Impressed with them. I wouldn't say more impressed. I mean, we knew how talented and big and physical they were. But, I'd like to think that we played, pretty physical as well. And we've got to continue to the depth defensively. I mean, I'm not making excuses because injury is a part of it. But when you don't play with R.J. Roderick, you don't play with David Spalding, you lose Cam Smith during the game, you lose Mo Kaba during the game, you lose Jordan Strawn during the game. I mean, if one of our defensively positions with the least amount of depth is defensive end, And therefore, you're seeing Gilbert Edmond and Tyreek Johnson and Terrell Dawkins and Jordan Birch. And I'm not making excuses, but we got worn down in some ways as well. But I thought our kids battled their butts off. And, we've got to continue to play physical, which I thought we did. I mean, Zach Pickens, I thought, was an animal out there today. Just you can tell everything about Zach Pickens, but just watching him on those extra points. I mean, he's coming through and almost had a chance to block a couple extra points just with his effort. So we've got to continue to develop depth, because part of the plan was to, try and wear these guys down and play our players and keep our guys fresh and get it to the fourth quarter and find a way to win it. And we got it to the fourth quarter, and we just didn't play well, turning the ball over and not being able to get stops when we needed to as well.
2 months before the injuries that happened today, they were able to go down the field early on in the game. What were you seeing that enabled them to do that, and how did y'all slow them down a little bit more a little bit later in the game?
I think I'll give them some credit, but I think some of those plays early with their tempo, I would say Clayton would probably tell you we weren't quite lined up a couple times like we would like to have been lined up. And I think if anything, we just kind of in the second half just got where, okay, they're going to do some tempo. We know what they're doing. Let's just be able to not have as many calls and just line up and play football. And we did that. And with the injuries too, I mean, you guys noticed early in the game, and we were doing some stuff with 5 defensive linemen in the game and things like that. And when you lose Strawn and you lose Cam and you lose Mo, that limits your ability a little bit to play all those defensive personnel packages that were part of our game plan going into the game as well. So that affected us. But I thought we settled down and did okay after that. We just gotta give them credit. I mean, they ran a lot of plays today, and I don't think they turned the ball over one time. So we've got to continue to, or maybe they did, I can't remember, but they didn't turn it over enough.
Earlier this week, you said it's hard to simulate KJ Jefferson. Just what did you think his impact was on the game?
Yeah, I mean, he's a weapon. He can run the football, and he took a lot of hits today, and just kept bouncing up. But I thought our guys came up and attacked him too. I mean, he had some runs certainly where. That was a physical football game. And there's a lot of talk about Arkansas being a physical football team, and they are. But I think we're pretty freaking physical too. And that was 2 physical teams going at it. I mean, I saw Nick Eamon-Mori, a true freshman for us, come up one time and strike the quarterback one-on-one and get him on the ground and give him credit. I mean, he was able to escape some pressure a couple times when we had him hemmed up in the backfield, and could have had some sacks and weren't able to. And then they ran that play on us late, similar to what Tennessee did against us last year, where the quarterback rolled right and then came back up and threw it. And we give him credit. I mean, he made plays when he needed to, and he took a lot of shots today, but kept bouncing back up. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Have a safe trip home.